You know, when it comes to, like, say, looking back at older films, like, you know, like, say, like, films from the 60s, you know, like, sometimes we feel like, say, yeah, let's go back and talk about it. Because, you know, today's film, I actually own. Island of Terror. Let's talk about it. By the way, this one was directed by Terrence Fisher. Because I also have another one of his films that he directed, which is The Mummy. So what happened in this film? Well, this film is basically an isolated remote island community is threatened by an attack by tentacle, you know, creatures which liquefy and digest bone and tissues. And honestly, like, looking back, I had recently got this because, you know, it was Halloween one year, and, you know, when I first started collecting, and I just thought, I'll be honest, the, picture image of it doesn't make you really think, like, it doesn't really give you, like, say, what is this about? Because it things like, say, sea monsters and all that. But, looking back at it, this feels like, say, something that we, you know, like, you know, like, today, like, you know, it would be a Mystery Science 3000 kind of thing. But it's actually kind of entertaining of how...
I've just seen something, and by all that's holy, I just can't be sure, but I think it's Ian Bellows.
You think it's Ian? What's happened to him?
I don't know.
Great it is. Because, you know, we have Peter Cushing, Edward Jude, and Carol Gray. And the thing about this film is that, you know, you get some interesting things about it. Like, say, the creature designs are pretty cool. And I think the idea of a creature that basically says, if it touches you, bye-bye bones, and you are just liquefied jelly.
Where's the laboratory? I don't know. I've never been here before.
And all that. And yeah, I gotta say, maybe in this time, maybe Carol Gray, especially when this film came out, maybe she would be considered a scream queen, especially for this film, because she does a pretty good job as, like, say, almost the love interest. But whenever she, like, say, there are always moments of, like, say, oh!
Hold on.
I'm trying, but I'm so frightened.
I'm so terrified! And all that. But the first time we introduce this creature, it is just for a person who loves, you know, say, like, fake creatures, you know, like, say, those always goofy, you know, almost, like, say, a person, like, you know, vacuum cleaners and all that stuff. It looks goofy, but at the same time, when this film came out, this is what you would get when it came to effects. And it's fairly, you know, admirable. Because, you know, like, say, you know, you're delving with, like, what, you know, budgets we have, and at the same time, it's just, you know, this is almost by its taste standard, it's very much a B movie. You know, it's schlocky, it's silly. Like, there's even a moment when, like, say, Dr. Brian, when he gets attacked by the creature later in the film, and, like, it's just grabbing on him, it won't let go, but then, like, say, Dr. David West, he goes, like, say, not on your life, you...
Brian, I must!
You slimy sleeper. I don't know the word I'm trying to think of. It basically just takes an axe and he chops the man's head off. Or arm off, I think. And I'm just thinking... My goodness, say, don't calm down, movie, calm down. This just, it's so silly by today's standards. But at the same time, I'm guessing, say, people were probably absolutely traumatized. And, say, yes, at the same time, I'm guessing, say, people probably thought this was terrifying. But at the same time, looking back, you kind of have a goofy movie night with it because, you're having some really great effects, and at the same time, you have some acting legends like Peter Cushing. Because, when you think Peter Cushing, you think a lot of, say, Hammer horror films. Say, this film was actually directed by the same director who did The Mummy from, which was, Terrence Fisher. He would do horror films. He also would do some of the Christopher Lee Dracula films. And I think he does a good job of, balancing out, say, moments of, say, okay, here's why you should be having interest in these characters. Say, when, the character of David West and Tony, when they're there, it's like, moment they says, oh, I'm going to stay here with you.
Good evening. I see we are interrupting something.
Miss Tony Merrill, may I introduce Dr. Brian Stanley, Dr. Reginald Landers. How do you do?
How do you do? I do hope you'll excuse my dress. It seems David's better with a scalpel than he is opening a bottle of wine.
And then, she says, okay, put some clothes on. And then she says, oh, how is this, darling? And this guy said, but I do love it how at the end of the film, all the local people are just going to say, we must stop the creatures. And they all just start to break into the lab because, well, that's the only place that has light. And they're just going, we need to get out of here. And, yeah, I did, one of the ending has a great little ending to it. And overall, this was just, a lot of fun. See you next time.